A reading from the book of Exodus. Moses, hearing the voice of the Lord from the burning bush, said to him, "When I go to the children of Israel and say to them, 'The God of your fathers has sent me to you,' if they ask me, 'What is his name?' what am I to tell them?" God replied, "I am who am." Then he added, "This is what you shall tell the children of Israel. I am sent me to you." God spoke further to Moses, "Thus shall you say to the children of Israel, 'The Lord your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, has sent me to you.' This is my name forever. This is my title for all generations. Go and assemble the elders of Israel and tell them, 'The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, has appeared to me and said, I am concerned about you and about the way you are being treated in Egypt. So I have decided to lead you up out of the misery of Egypt into the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, a land flowing with milk and honey. Thus they will heed your message. Then you and the elders of Israel shall go to the king of Egypt and say to him, 'The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has sent us word. Permit us then to go a 3 days' journey in the desert, that we may offer sacrifice to the Lord our God. Yet I know that the king of Egypt will not allow you to go unless he is forced. I will stretch out my hand, therefore, and smite Egypt by doing all kinds of wondrous deeds there. After that he will send you away.'" The word of the Lord. The Lord remembers his covenant forever. The Lord remembers his covenant forever. Give thanks to the Lord. Invoke his name. Make known among the nations his deeds. Recall the wondrous deeds that he has wrought, his portents and the judgments he has uttered. The Lord remembers his covenant forever. He remembers forever his covenant, which he made binding for 1,000 generations, which he entered into with Abraham and by his oath to Isaac. The Lord remembers his covenant forever. He greatly increased his people and made them stronger than their foes, whose hearts he changed so that they hated his people and dealt deceitfully with his servants. The Lord remembers his covenant forever. He sent Moses, his servant, Aaron, whom he had chosen. They wrought his signs among them and wonders in the land of Him. The Lord remembers his covenant forever.
Alleluia, 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 alleluia. The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart, and you will find rest for yourselves. For my yoke is easy and my burden light." The Gospel of the Lord. Today's reading from the book of Exodus, we hear God's name, this most famous of names, and this famous passage from the life of Moses, the utterance of God's name. God's name, typically we refer to it as Yahweh in modern English, but there's different translations of the word. In Hebrew, they didn't have vowels. They only had consonants. So when you read the Hebrew version of the Old Testament, technically speaking, we don't really know how all of the words sounded. There's some guesses, because in the Middle Ages, rabbinic Jews actually began to include vowels in their text of the Old Testament. And so many of our pronunciations come from that. But the reality is we aren't really sure how it is to be pronounced. And so sometimes in different Bibles, you'll actually hear it written in different ways. Some versions of the Bible will say Yahweh. Some of them will say Jehovah. My personal favorite, technically speaking, you could call it Yuhu whenever it comes up in the Old Testament. But typically it's Yahweh or Jehovah. Also, a very common way to say it is the word Adonai. And the reason why that's the case is because ancient Jews, out of such respect for this name of God, they never uttered it out loud. And so whenever they would see it in the Old Testament, they would, instead of saying Yahweh, they would say Adonai, which is basically like a way of saying sir or something like that. In many English translations, you can tell when this word appears because it'll say the word Lord in the Old Testament, but with a capital letter with Lord, right? And the indication that is speaking about Yahweh. So just some slight facts there for you. But also I think that this passage, and many of you are familiar with the work of Bishop Robert Barron, he's made a big deal about this distinction. But it's very important. He's only popularizing it. In the Middle Ages, there was a great question asked about who God is and what is God like. And it was the most important of questions. And St. Thomas Aquinas famously said that God is not the greatest being, but rather he is being itself. Right? God is not a being. He's not a creature. He is being itself. And that sounds abstract, and it sounds like it's a kind of a complicated and needless distinction, but it actually is very important for us in our modern age, in our modern secular age, in which there are more and more atheists and more people struggling to believe in God. The basic mistake that most people make is they don't understand that distinction that was spoken about by St. Thomas Aquinas. Many modern atheists, they critique and they mock Christians because they say believing in God is like believing in Mother Goose or believing in some flying spaghetti monster out in outer space. It's just as silly to believe in God. And you see the distinction they're missing there. They don't understand that God is not a being in the world. He is being itself. He is completely outside of the world that we know. Believing in God is not like believing in a flying spaghetti monster somewhere out there. Rather, not believing in God is like somebody not believing in Shakespeare because he's not an actual character in Romeo and Juliet. Not believing in God is like not believing in J.R.R. Tolkien because he's not a character in The Lord of the Rings. Right? God is completely outside of the world. He's not an object in the house. He's the builder of the house. Right? And so just because we can't see God doesn't mean that he's not real. In fact, that is exactly what we should expect because we are inside the world and God is not. And yet, the more you look into the world, the more you see God's personality. You see his creative hand and you learn all sorts of things about him. Just like you learn all sorts of things about Tolkien by reading Lord of the Rings or about Shakespeare by watching his plays. At this distinction that we hear in this book of Exodus, that God is not a being. He is who he is. He is being itself. It's important for us to know this.